Power Platform Center of Excellence, how to build and run one in 5 phases. Hey, welcome. In this video, we're breaking down Power Platform Center of Excellence, how to build and run one in 5 phases. Let's get into it. Now, moving on to what is a Power Platform Center of Excellence. A Power Platform Center of Excellence is a dedicated team, set of processes, and technical governance framework that manages how an organization builds, deploys, and maintains apps and automations on Microsoft Power Platform. It covers Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages, and the underlying dataverse environment. The term gets used loosely. Some teams call a SharePoint site with a few guidelines a COE. A real COE has 4 things: a named owner, documented policies that are technically enforced, a training program for citizen developers, and a pipeline for monitoring what runs across your environments. Microsoft ships a free COE starter kit that provides dashboards, templates, and starter policies. It is a good starting point, not a finished product. Let's talk about moving on to Phase 1, lay the foundation for your Power Platform COE. Every successful Power Platform Center of Excellence starts with 2 questions: who owns this, and what problem are we solving? Answering both before touching the tooling is what separates COEs that take hold from ones that stall. A COE without an executive sponsor fails within 6 months. The sponsor does not need to understand DLP configuration. They need to enforce the governance decisions the COE makes, including telling a business unit director that their environment is getting restructured. The COE owner is a separate role, typically a senior IT architect or Power Platform lead. At a company with 500 to 2,000 employees, this is usually a half-time role in the first year. Effective citizen developer governance requires both a named owner and a clear escalation path when policies are violated. Let's talk about moving on to Phase 2, Power Platform Governance and DLP Policy Design. Power Platform Governance is the collection of policies, processes, and controls that determine what can be built, where it can run, and who can access which data. Without it, shadow IT grows, apps built outside IT visibility, connecting to data sources that violate compliance policies. Power Platform Governance prevents shadow IT through DLP policies, environment strategies, and approval workflows. For organizations in healthcare, banking, or logistics, this is not optional guidance. It is a compliance requirement the COE makes technically enforceable. DLP policies in Power Platform control which connectors can be combined in a single app or flow. A properly configured policy blocks any flow from connecting SharePoint to a consumer Gmail account, closing a common data exfiltration path. Now, next up, Phase 3, train citizen developers and build the app factory. Citizen developer governance is not about preventing people from building things. It is about channeling that energy productively. Organizations that over-restrict citizen developers end up with the same shadow IT problem, just less visible because workarounds happen in Excel and email instead of Power Apps. Getting citizen developer governance right is what separates a COE that grows adoption from one that stifles it. One of the first decisions every builder faces is the Power Apps canvas versus model-driven choice. This comes up in nearly every Power Apps development services engagement we start. Canvas apps work better when. Let's talk about now, Phase 4, Power Platform ALM and Professional Grade Development. Phase 4 is where the COE stops being a governance program and becomes a delivery platform. Power Platform ALM is the practice of applying software engineering discipline to Power Platform, version control, automated testing, deployment pipelines, and environment promotion. Power Platform ALM with Azure DevOps uses the Power Platform Build Tools extension to automate solution export, run validation checks, and promote solutions from development to test to production. This replaces the send the solution zip to the admin deployment model that most ungoverned COEs still rely on. The 4 components of a mature ALM pipeline. Now, moving on to Phase 5, scale, measure, and continuously improve. Phase 5 is ongoing. A Power Platform Center of Excellence does not have a finish line. It has metrics that tell you whether it is working and processes that let you improve over time. Power BI dashboard development for COE reporting typically tracks 4 metric categories. Our Power BI consulting services team builds these dashboards on top of COE starter kit data, giving leadership a live view of platform health. Power BI dashboard development at this stage often surfaces insights organizations did not know to look for, such as which business units have high app creation rates but zero governance coverage. Now, how much does Power Platform development cost? The honest answer is it depends on scope, but these benchmarks hold across most mid-size organizations. COE setup and governance, $15,000 to $40,000 for initial implementation including environment configuration, DLP policies, COE starter kit deployment, and admin training. Citizen developer training program, $5,000 to $15,000 for a structured 4 to 8 week program covering 20 to 50 employees. Now, conclusion. A Power Platform Center of Excellence is a long-running program, not a one-time project. It gets more valuable as more people build on the platform. The 5 phases described here are not strictly sequential. Most organizations run phases 2 and 3 in parallel once phase 1 is complete. The most important action you can take today is naming a COE owner. Without a named owner and executive support, governance tools sit unused and training materials go stale. With that foundation in place, even a minimal COE significantly reduces the compliance and operational risk that comes from giving an organization access to a low-code platform without citizen developer governance guardrails. If you are starting from scratch or recovering an ungoverned environment, both scenarios are manageable. Start with our guide to setting up a Power Platform Center of Excellence from scratch and reach out if you want a structured assessment of where your current environment stands.